Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Shadow bringing you guys this week's locals. As you guys saw, the poll, Purple Black Luffy won by a landslide, so that is what I'm going to be playing for the week. This week I am at Sully's Abode Locals. I lost a dice roll here to this Blackbeard, and you see, for turn 1 and turn 2, I did not have any plays, did not have the Law Search, and did not have the Zoro to ramp, so already off to a very, very terrible start, and the Blackbeard is able to establish dot Q and pretty much set it up for if he has Laboon, he can remove anything if he really wanted to. Ends up starting with the Luffy and does do the Luffy ability to search top 5. Again, I always say that if you are a Blackbeard player, Luffy search is always a pseudo blocker. You're going to get that card search off your deck to find the pieces that you need. And your opponent will, most of the time, usually swing at this Luffy. There have been times where I've had opponents not swing at the Luffy, which throws me off a bit, but majority of the time they will swing at this instead of your life. So I always want to establish it and try to protect it. And you do see Sush there preach the phrase he always says: use code SJTCG at Dueling Guard for 5% off. Does not ever, he always says it. He's using a pass turn. Finally have 5 Dawn, and again finally see this Law, which should have been a turn 1 search play preferably, but unfortunately I did mulligan before the game started, and I mulliganed into absolutely dog water. It's all late game or blockers, and it's not gonna do me well here. So I do swing 6 at Luffy and play out the Usahachi. Usahachi ability is if I have 8 or more Dawn, I am able to rest, I believe, a 5 cost or less character on my opponent's side of the field. I would have preferably have gone for the dot Q, but I only was at 4 Dawn? 5 Dawn, so I was unable to rest and KO this dot Q. And here he swings 5 with his leader. I do give him a Nico Robin, and here he will use the Van Augur and KO the dot Q, which sucks. It's unfortunate. I am attempting to try to go wide since my early game start was not it. And he establishes stage, pitching the Laboon, and is attempting to fix his hand. And he now pitches for his leader ability, which is the right thing to do. If not, I did have the 7 cost Sanji, which I would have used. Got the leader ability to go off. Swung 8 at the Van Augur, which more than likely would have cleared the dot Q with the Law. But all I am able to do is clear with the Law, the dot Q. And I'm going to attempt to swing 6 at the Van Augur. And I believe here he's going to give me a 2k from his hand. I wish I would have swung bigger, but even if I would have swung 7, that 2k would have saved it. I would have needed to swing at least 8, but at best from there, I think I only play out a Onami from that swing, if I did do that. But probably would have been better to do. I wanted to establish this Nico Robin to try to put pressure, or at least save it for late game reduction. But here, he had exactly what he needed to answer my board here. And that is going to be a Van Augur -3 to the Nico Robin, which puts it at 4. He ends up reading the card. I wasn't sure what it does, if it has a non-KO ability, which it doesn't. It's just an on-play when attacking. If there's an 8 cost or higher character, you can give something -5. So it's pretty much an Ice Age that can swing as long as you have an 8 cost or more. But you see, he does Black Hole the Nico Robin, which KOs it, and pitches Finger Pistol to search top 3. Me personally, I would have held on the Finger Pistol just because I do like to keep Form of Reduction in hand handy at all times, specifically for, the bigger bodies, because Finger Pistol can reach a 5 cost, and that's all it is protecting the Van Augur. You can remove an 8 cost very easily. But he does find a dot Q, and you see he pops the Law, so he, at this point, is doing what Blackbeard needs to do, and that is clearing board every single turn if possible. And you do see I am using my Digimon Don today. Love those cards. But yeah, here I swing 6 at the Van Augur. He's only got 3 cards in hand. Van Augur gets cleared, which shows me he has absolutely no counter in hand. And here I tap 5, and then I'm going to tap the other 3 and play out another Usahachi. Again, attempting to go wide here because next turn he will be at 10. If he plays out a 10 drop, he can stun 1. I could potentially still swing twice. And that's the mentality that I was trying to go with. And typically some Blackbeard players will just establish their 10 drop. But ultimately, depending on what you're playing against, like if you're playing against Luffy, playing 10 drop here in this situation is not good. You want to opt for board removal, which is what this Blackbeard is going to do here. You're going to see, I believe before he starts his reduction to try to remove, he's going to search with the stage, and he ends up pitching a black hole, looking for something else, and he finds his 10 drop. He did tell me that this search had 3 10 drops in it at the end of the game, so he had no choice but to grab it. But he's going to start with Tempest Kick, and he's going to do a double Tempest Kick to get rid of the Sanji, which is great because, again, Tempest Kick, love Tempest Kick, gives you -3 reduction once you have a lot of cards in your trash, and not only that, but gets you cards to filter and replace itself. And he is able to dock Q and remove the Sanji, establishing Black Hole to remove the Usahachi. And here, if he has a Burgess in hand, if he is able to establish it at this point of the game, it is guaranteed in his favor. I mean, at this point, it already is pretty much guaranteed in his favor. He's sitting at 4 life and has been able to remove every single body I've played on the field. Nothing has been able to swing other than the 1 Lauder Daki. But yeah, my early game tempo in this game is pretty much what set me back. If I was able to establish the Law to Zoro, and it would have put a little bit more pressure on him to try to remove my field, since the Dock Q would have needed to either remove the Law, or if he had Laboon, Dock Q the Zoro, then my Law would have cleared his Dock Q earlier, and I could have swung big at the Laboon to keep him at bay. But it is what it is. You will always have those games where you absolutely don't draw what you need, and being able to recover is easy to happen. Not easy to happen, but can happen. But unfortunately, in this matchup, it is very difficult since a lot of my abilities deal with the on play, and being able to get to your Don. So like this Nami would have allowed me to cycle a brick from my hand and draw 2 to give me different options, which unfortunately was unable to happen. So you see here, I swung at life, and I should have swung at the Dock Q instead. Clearing the Dock Q would have prevented a potential removal this turn. It would have gave him a card, yes, but at best here he plays out a 10 drop and, clears or stuns the Sanji, and all I have left is my Onami. But here he's gonna Laboon the Nami, Dock Q the Nami, and then Finger Pistol the Sanji. Which again goes back to my point of him having everything, and swing 7 at my life. I'm gonna use Gum Gum Giant at this point to try to filter and find some other options. And you see I draw into Top Knot and my Zoro Joro, which sucks to see. But I could have here played Top Knot to get rid of the Laboon. Then I could have swung at the Dock Q and cleared it. So I could have board cleared him and potentially still play out all these bodies here. So I cleared the Laboon, swinging 7 at it, and I go wide. I'm really holding on to Top Knot, and the reason why I didn't use it this turn was in case he plays Burgess out. But at this point, yeah, 10 drops are just going to get slammed. I could have cleared his entire board while still going wide and potentially put him in a way more difficult position. So this was a misplay on my part. Definitely should have Top Knotted last turn, cleared the board, and then went wide. Because then if he plays 10 drop, at best he stuns 1, and then I go wide with the rest. So he ends up Dock Qing the Law, and he did it after his turn. He did ask if he could go back. I personally didn't care because I already knew it was a way more in my losing favor. There's no coming back except the option that I just spoke of. If I did top knot, would have put me in a better spot. If this was done last turn with the Laboon and just clearing the dot Q, I potentially would have still had the law and could have just went wide. So you're gonna see here I don't swing because the Zoro is nullified. I at least established the Sanji, and at this point he plays another 10 drop, nullifies both, swings 5. I have 2 bricks in my hand, so I just give him the Nami and pitches for leader ability and passes. So I only have 2 swings here. He's got 3 life. I think I'm gonna just play cards just to play him. So I swing 5, he takes it, and I think I have a 9 drop Kaido. I think I'm gonna just play the Kaido just to the ability to make him chuck and pretty much accept fate at this point. But if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought of the game, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.